Oriental Rabbanim of yesteryear. Now, we're at the end of the month of Shvat, and it's going to mark the Hilula of a really great rabbi. His name was Rabbi Machluf Nachmani Z'tl, one of the great rabbis of his time. I believe he was born back in the English year 1919 in Morocco. I think he passed away just about 7-8 years ago from the time of recording in 2017. He was born actually in, I think, the village in Morocco called Tidali. That was back in the year 1919. It came from very great rabbinic auspices, let's just say, in of itself. I believe his father's name was Rav Shimon and his mother's name was Rabbanit Miriam. I think from a great family at that point in time. And Morocco day of yesteryear, it used to be like a very big, thriving Torah and Jewish community in of itself. We learned Torah at a young age. And I think when he was about 14, 15 years of age, he was a teenager, he would move to Marrakesh to learn in the famous yeshiva of Rav David Al-Asri, who happened to be a very, very great rabbi of Marrakesh at that point in time. And it's interesting, I think he had closeness to Rav Yosef Nachmani. Also, I'm not too sure if how he was related or was related somehow. Right, 3 Sifrei Torah would very much be part of it. I think he would go to the area of Arpad, this was an area in Morocco, and he receive his rabbinic ordination over there at that point in time, smicha, as we say in of itself. And then I believe he would learn inside, he had a connection, I think, with the famous Baba Sali, Rabbi Yisrael Abu Chatzera, and would have learned in one of the yeshivot connected to him, Rosh Abedin. Very interesting enough, and it'd be interesting, I think, shortly afterwards, he would be going to the land of Israel, I think, the year 1956. I think his dad, Rav Shimon, sadly passed away 2 years beforehand in 1954. And I think once he moved to Eretz Yisrael, he moved there. I believe he had several children, I think including Shimon and also Sarah, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not too sure which other children, but it was a very, very great move. This was a time period, especially during the early 1950s, all throughout the 1950s, there was a huge wave of Aliyah from Morocco to Eretz Yisrael in of itself. So he came there over there. I think originally he would live in Dimona in Israel. And then afterwards he would go to, I believe, Rehovot, possibly the Kiryat Moshe neighborhood, or somewhere along those vicinities in of itself, spend a window of time over there. Before moving in 1960, he was reported over to Baka neighborhood. I think that's based quite near Katamon and Talpiot. This would have been 1960 in Jerusalem. Naturally over there, he was, as we stated before, he was also close to Rabbi Levi נחמני over there also. I think he himself, if I'm not mistaken, was Rosh Yeshiva of Peneacha Yaakov. I hope I pronounced that correctly over there. That was, remember at that point in time, there's various different yeshivot being opened all throughout Jerusalem as the years into the Medinat Yisrael had actually started progressing at that point in time. I think he had a closeness to the famous Rabbi Eliyahu Abargel, if I'm not mistaken, of the Devorat Eliyahu in of itself, which has to be pointed out. Sadly, I think in the year 1979, it was reported over his mother pass away, and several years later, I think the year 1982, he would publish, I believe, first work, if I'm not mistaken, called the Even Shlomo, which was, I think, based on Purkei Avot ethics of the fathers, also the Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim, respectively, and also Haggadah Shel Pesach, Passover naturally being from the 15th of Nisan to the 22nd of Nisan, respectively, a Haggadah for the Leil HaSeder, the Seder night in of itself. And then I think in 1982, there were, yes, that was in 1982. I think he had a closeness with the famous rabbi over there at that point in time. There was a Rav Abraham Cohen, who I believe was based in Talpiot, if I'm not mistaken. So there was closeness there. He was also a very prominent rabbi. And then I think the year 2009, he would, at that stage in time, I believe he would be approximately, we're talking already, maybe close to 90 years old. There was a publication, the Arba Torah Eben, in of itself, the very, very great Torah work in of itself, Arba Torah, and this was, I think, comprising of various different writings of the Vash Lefi, if I'm not mistaken, the Peledat Eliezer, I hope I pronounced it correctly, then the Mata Yosef, which is based on Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim in of itself. It was a Torah colossal publication in of itself. Now, he passed away, I believe, in the year 2017. We're talking about from time of recording here, we're in 2025. 8 years ago. He was one of the great Moroccan rabbis of Israel of his time. Don't forget to light candles in memory here at the end of Shvat. And I think he was connected with a synagogue called Armon HaNetzir, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure exactly the location of that in itself, but yeah, he was born, as we said before, in 1919, came from the famous Moroccan village of Titli, and passed away, I believe, in Israel in 2017. He would have been approximately about 88 years of age. He would have been about 98 years of age at the passing, if you passed in 2017 and was born in 1919. These are excellent notes I heard from the Hayomi website. In itself, learn more about the great rabbis, learn about his teachings and his books. Friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. We've already covered about 750 rabbis in this magnanimous series. If you happen to be related to any of the great Chachamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear a comment. If you feel anyone would be interested in watching any of these videos on any of the great rabbis, please share the videos to other people and subscribe to the channel now. So wishing you all blessings here from Israel. Take care and be well.